So March is National Women's Month, and Sunday, March 8th is International Women's Day. So we took this opportunity to interview Nikki Jean of Rhymesayers Entertainment. She's a fantastic R&B singer out of the Twin Cities. She's been around for like a decade plus, and she just released an album last year, Beautiful Prison. Check it out. So we wanted to use this opportunity with the podcast to shout out the women that are strong as hell in our lives, or I do. I can't speak for Chad, but some of the women in my life that have influenced my life in a positive way. My grandma Chuan, who just passed away this last year, huge influence. One of the strongest women I've ever met, will ever know. My mom, my aunts, my ex-wife Sarah, the fucking best mother for my children ever. Riley, Melissa. There's so many. I feel like I'm leaving people out. My coworkers. Gail, our babysitter, who fucking basically raised us as kids. Huge influence in our lives. That's about it. I feel like I'm leaving out too many. I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking up doing this. Anyways, hold these women up in your lives, man. Like, they got your back. Good women are hard to find. Good people are hard to find. So support good people. That's all. All right, so here it is, Nikki Jean. Check it out. This is a super fun interview. Bless her for putting up with my amateur ass on this one. It was a rough start. My recording program quit working, so I had to take a couple minutes to figure it out, and she was super cool with the whole thing. Couldn't have been better. Best first interview for the podcast ever. So check out Nikki Jean on whatever Spotify music apps you guys have. Here's my top Nikki Jean songs: Sex, Lies, and Sunshine, Champagne Water, Cool on You, Mr. Clean, People in Planes, and then she's featured on Hip Hop Saved My Life, Lupe Fiasco song, and Lovely, an Atmosphere song. So that's about it. Hope you guys like this interview. It was so much fun to do. That's about it. Peace. All right, welcome to the Always Pick Last podcast. I am Ron.
I'm Nikki Jean.
All right, killed it. So, the fundraiser this Saturday, is it a fundraiser or what is it even called?
It is a fundraiser and a celebration.
Okay, so that's called Rack On. It's at Modist Brewery. Doors are at 6.
It is.
And then the opening bands are Hard Looks and Kitten Forever. And then Nikki goes on at 8:30.
And I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and it's a 21 plus event. Free cover with if you bring a bra for a survivor of domestic violence. And then the bras are donated
like
to
everything I know.
Yeah. The bras are donated to the Women's Advocates and Wayside Recovery out of St. Louis Park. So that's pretty sweet.
It's an amazing thing to be a part of. I'm really honored to be a part of it. And I'm excited to share the stage with such talented and wonderful and fun women. And I'm also stoked that the women at Modist Brewery came together for, I believe it was International Women's Brewery Day or beer day, and they made something just for this event, and it's called Your Gender Bias is Showing.
That's pretty awesome.
So that's it's a very special beer, and I don't know, I'm stoked. It's a DDHNE 0 IBU IPA. So I talked to Muggs at the brewery, at Modist Brewery today, and she's awesome. And she explained to me that means they used hops, but they were able to take the bitterness out of the hops because it's about being a survivor, and it's about not being bitter, being wonderful, being awesome. So I'm excited to be a part of this event and to crush it, to kill it. I'm back home. Like, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're just moving back to the cities too, right?
Yes. It's been a long time. I'm happy to be home.
Nice. Well, and it's like the best time of year to do it. It's just getting nice out. It's going to be like 60 degrees on Sunday.
I know that's crazy. I miss sledding season, which I'm
Right.
like a little bit out about. But now that I live here, like when I lived in LA and when I lived in DC, I would say, oh, like, but don't you love the snow? Like, I want to go sledding. Like, I want to see the beautiful. But now that I'm here, I'm kind of okay with it being nice.
Right.
Kind of okay with it. I'm like, it can warm up. It's fine. I'll catch the snow next season.
Yeah, for sure. So on the Women's Day thing, I just watched your short film Get Free. That's
Hmm.
pretty dope.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that you use your platform to like show up and put out something that empowers like the people you care about and lifts them up, you know, gives them something that they can say where they might not have had that chance.
I I was happy to be able to not just make it, but like also have the support of my label to make it.
Yeah.
Because it's me using my platform, but it's also them using their platform. Like I came with an idea where I just said, I don't want to make another video where the whole point of it is for me to like look cute so people like me more. Like I want to do something more than that. And I told them my idea, and despite the fact that I had no experience making anything like that, they're like, okay, it seems like you know what you want to do, and it's something that we stand behind, like go for it. And they allowed me to like take my budget for a music video and make that documentary. So I was in DC at the time, and I was being inspired by the women in the documentary. None of them are super famous. All of them are just like working professionals in their field. And I was always floored by the wisdom that they carry with them, that they tap into on a daily basis. So I kind of made the video that I could listen to if I ever needed a nudge, like if I ever was feeling down or just needed the uplift, I can watch that video, and that's my hope for other people too.
Yeah, I think it accomplished that. I mean, my friend Melissa has been through some shit lately in her life, and I sent it to her, and she loved it. So you at least touched
Thank
one
you.
person, so that's awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Yeah,
for sharing it.
yeah,
Anytime you make art, you just hope it's not about how many people it reaches, it's about it reaching the people it's meant to reach and to help and to touch. So thank you.
awesome. Um, okay, so how was the tour?
I love tour so much.
Did
I
ya?
had so much fun. I love tour. I feel like when you go on tour, it's like you're a pirate and a vagabond and a gypsy. You're just out there. And what's not to love? You get to do what you love every day. You get to make music every day. You show up at the venue. You get to be a working professional in a field that most people don't get to. Like we earn the privilege to do it. And there's a lot of people who are equally talented or even more talented who never get the opportunity that we have. And you work hard, and hopefully people have a good time. And by the end of the night, somebody is drunk enough to tell you you did great, whether you did or not. So all in all, it's a good gig. I like it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was gonna ask if you preferred like touring or just like writing music, but it sounds like touring.
There's, I, I really love songwriting is my first love, but there's a season for everything. I spent many years, probably 10 years, since I've been on a real tour like the one we just get off. So I think I was due. I think I was due to fall in love with touring all over.
Yeah. So
yeah, who knows if I would feel that way if I toured 200 dates a year. I might feel different.
Too, yeah.
Like, oh, I want to sleep in my bed. Yeah.
See, I saw you guys in Chicago. I was down there randomly for work, and I saw you guys were coming to town. I already bought tickets to the Palace show in St. Paul, but I thought I would. I've never been to 2 concerts on one tour, so that was pretty cool.
I'm so glad you got to come to the Palace show. The Chicago show was probably my worst show on the tour. I had lost my voice. I didn't get a good sound check. I always think of that show. I'm so glad I'm going back to Chicago in April because I was like, man, Chicago deserves a better show.
I was going to ask you about that because, I mean, I thought you sounded great, but like when you went to play guitar, like the guitar wasn't working, so you just like went and rolled with it on the piano or whatever.
Yeah, you got to be able to roll with the punches.
Yeah. Does that stuff happen
what
often?
What are you going to do? Really? Like, no, that was just the second show on the tour.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of bugs to work out. On any given night, like my setup is pretty involved. And when you're the opener, like I was, the headliner gets the sound check they need, which is usually like an hour long. As the tour progresses, everybody's sound check gets shorter because the bugs get worked out. But at the beginning of sound check, something's wrong with beginning a tour. Something's wrong with everybody's setup, and so I had a really complex setup. There was definitely going to be something wrong with it, and there was. And I only had like 15 minutes to get it sorted, and it wasn't enough. So by the time we got to the 3 shows in, actually in Detroit, because of the Chicago show, I had a ton of time to sound check. Because they were like,
right.
She needs more time. I was like, I do need more time. They're like, we got you. Because everyone's so like supportive and helpful, yeah.
You handled that shit like a boss in Chicago, though, I thought.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I'm glad that it didn't, from the audience perspective, look the way I felt.
No, I went to know it, honestly. Like it was that. I thought like the guitar thing was like a minor hiccup. I didn't think it was that bad.
Well, I just had no voice. I had no voice.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I am dying up here. The guitar thing, yeah, I mean, that can happen. I can play all my songs on the piano. I can't play all my songs on guitar, but I can play all my songs on piano. So anytime the guitar station goes out, it's like, well,
right.
Taking the show on the road.
Yeah. Do you like the bigger tours? Like you were on the Kanye tour, right?
Yeah. I
was
on
that
Glow in the Dark tour.
Yeah, like that size show, or do you more like the smaller, intimate shows like this Atmosphere tour?
So I would call the Atmosphere tour like a mid-cap show because most of the venues were like 1,500 around there, even though the Palace was 2,200 sold out.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ye's tour was an arena tour. A small, intimate tour to me would be venues like the Modist Brewery, which is like 150, 250, all the way up to 500. Those are what I would call really intimate.
Okay.
And the only honest answer I can give you to that question is I just prefer working. I prefer to have offers for tours coming in. I don't care. I've done living room tours. I've put my piano in the back of my Scion XB and went and played in people's living rooms all over the country. Like I just like the opportunity to do it.
That's awesome. So you said you're going on tour again. I saw something about it, but I can't remember the headliner's name.
Watsky. George Watsky.
Okay.
And he is a rapper who also is a spoken word artist who reached out to me on Twitter and was like, come open for me on some dates. So it's shorter. It's 5 dates throughout the Midwest. But it was extraordinarily flattering because I've been a fan of his for years. I didn't know he even knew who I was. So I'm really stoked that these dates are coming up.
That's really cool.
I'm
So,
excited.
what what is one song that you heard and thought like, holy shit, that song's perfect. I wish I wrote that song.
Oof. I'll give you probably the most perfect lyric I've ever heard, the saddest song I've ever heard. It's the French version of Ne me quitte pas by Jacques Brel. The English version, good. French version, perfection. I've never heard a more gorgeous lyric, a sadder song. In English, hands down the most perfect lyric, written by Alan and Marilyn Bergman. What are you doing the rest of your life? It's the apex of classical songwriting craftsmanship. It has symmetry, it's elegant, it's visual, like it has a lot of imagery in it. Like, yeah.
Then I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yes, please. There's a video on YouTube. If you type in Alan Bergman, what are you doing the rest of your life? There's a version of the song that will come up where he's singing it. And I think whenever you can hear the songwriter deliver their own work, you're getting a different version of the song. Like you're getting the most pure version of the song.
Yeah.
I'm a huge song nerd.
Yeah, I used to be like when I was younger, like late 90s, early 2000s, like I bought so many CDs and like I would just crack it open and read like the linear notes and like everything, you know. And then I had kids and I
So,
like kind of quit listening to music a little bit. Now I'm getting back into it heavy.
so what were some of your favorites from back then?
Um I've always been into rap. So like Notorious B.I.G., Nas, like Jay-Z, Kanye when he came on. Um, a lot of like heavy metal, like Tool and Slipknot. Um, God, there's so many. Rage Against the Machine, who actually now I'm gonna go see them for the first time. I can't wait for that. With Run the Jewels, that's gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be insane.
Yeah, but yeah, like Outkast, everything. Like,
That
uh,
sounds like the '90s to me. That
yeah,
definitely sounds like the '90s to
yeah. I
me.
was born in like '82, so like that was like my prime crazy teenager years, you know?
Yeah, I liked a lot of rap from that era, and of course Biggie, Jay Z, Nas. I was also really into like Mobb Deep, The Infamous, or like Raekwon's The Purple Tape.
Yeah.
I think Southern Playalistic Cadillac Funky Music was one of my first rap albums I ever owned.
Oh, yeah. Mine
Uh,
was Master P.
yeah, super. Ah, about it.
Yeah, make him say, oh. But it was the Walmart version, so it was
Uh,
censored.
so
So,
where
like,
you missed like half the words for the
yeah.
whole scene.
And, like, every other word is like a fucking train whistle or something going off. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, Wu
That was a
Tang.
good. That was a good era.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Do you listen to a lot of the newer rap?
Mm, I wouldn't say I listen to as much of it as I would like to. I wish to listen to more of it.
Yeah, I don't listen to a ton of newer stuff. I don't. That's like the
What's the
mumble
last
stuff I'm
What's
not
the last
into.
thing you listened to
The
that
last
you were
new
like,
rap
okay,
album. I tried listening to Mac Miller's new one, and I didn't really get into it that much. But the new Atmosphere and the
circles?
new Eminem one.
well, obviously I'm very familiar with the new Atmosphere album, but
Right.
uh, the new M, I mean, he's still doing things that are so technically incredible.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you hear it and
Yeah,
you're like, what the hell is going on here? Oh,
I
I
I
did
mean,
listen to the new Royce
I don't
CD. That
think
was
he
good.
gets. Oh, I need to listen to the new Roy CD after hearing his like freestyle on Twitter the other day. But
Yeah.
I've always known it's weird to me when these little things happen where all of a sudden there's a video of voice freestyling or there's a video of Thought freestyling and people are like, oh my God, they're really good. It's like, you didn't know Black Thought was good.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Come on.
how did you not know that? Like,
Right.
if you didn't know Royce da 5'9" was good, it just means you didn't know who Royce da 5'9" was. Like,
Exactly.
he's been good.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, but I think one of the things for me that's interesting about Eminem is I don't think it matters how great he is anymore. Like, he's great. He doesn't, you can't do more than he's done. He's really been like, he put in the work. He's shown time and time again the caliber of lyricist that he is. And I don't think that he can win anyone over at this point. Like, you're either here for it or you're not.
Right.
Like,
But
when people don't listen, I'm like, huh,
yeah, and
he's as good, if not better, than he's ever been lyrically.
I agree. But every time he drops something new, it like that whole debate comes up about being a guest in the house of hip hop and everything. And I don't
You
get it.
He's influenced so many rappers of every complexion that it's like,
Yeah, and
I
help
don't
bring
know.
up so many
It
people
doesn't make,
too.
absolutely. It's clear to me at those moments that we're not really talking about the music. And I think that another thing is about emotional resonance. So when he was younger, pop music is driven by young people.
Yeah.
And so when he talked about what he was going through when he was younger, it emotionally resonated with a lot of people, which made it very popular, which made it blow up and do numbers. And that's not the only reason. We know there's a lot of factors why
Right.
M crushed the game when he did. But just like Atmosphere, he's writing about things that are relevant to his life right now. And a lot of that stuff is honestly like not as sexy, and people don't want to hear it. Or they're like you and I, not listening to as much new rap as we used to. Because given the choice, like, I'll listen to the new M record, and I have, but it's not like etched in my brain the way like the Marshall Mathers record is, you
Same.
know?
Yep. Yeah, and it's yeah, like well, how you mentioned Atmosphere, like Slug's lyrics from when he was early 20s or whatever, like that shit doesn't resonate with me as much as like the new dad rap shit that, that he's putting out. Because that's where I'm at in my life.
Right. So we can only, I respect a lot when artists, and I think it's the mark of an artist to say, this is where I am right now. I'm going to be authentic to who I am rather than, oh, I know where I am right now is not going to be as saleable because it's not as young and it's not as sexy or whatever the case may be. Like, but I'm going to go for it because it's the truth. Because real art is synonymous with truth.
Yeah, and the real art and the truth, that takes some balls to do too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So hats off to those gentlemen. Appreciate them.
Yeah. All right. Well, I gotta see here. Oh yeah. So I watched your "This Is Nikki Jean" video from that Rhymesayers put out. That's some
Where I
funny
got to
shit.
talk about my love. of
Yeah.
beers.
Yes. So, all right, Nikki, here's the thing. When you're as
Okay.
famous as Nikki Jean is dating awkward?
Guess it depends who you date.
Have you done the online thing?
No, I couldn't do online dating.
Well, especially not when you say I love hip hop, nachos, porters, stouts, and dogs. You gotta have everybody lined up around the block with that shit.
I wish it was like as funny as that I couldn't do it. I can't do it because I've had multiple stalkers that I haven't been caught. So I just can't be like
Oh, that sucks.
available. Yeah, it's not a fun answer.
No.
It's not a fun answer. But I'm dating. I haven't given it a lot of thought. Um, but I would like to. I
There
would
you
like
go.
to give dating thought. Yeah. Thank you for the nudge.
Yeah, get out there, girl.
Right? The
Yeah.
day is wasting.
Yeah.
I feel like I could find some. I feel like I could find some stout loving, dog loving guys out here. I'm in the Midwest,
Yeah, I bet there's like a couple at least that aren't
right?
psychopaths. Yeah.
Well, none of my stalkers were anywhere near Minnesota, so I'm feeling pretty like good. But like you
Yeah.
go online, and then it's like you just open yourself up to the whole world again.
That's true.
Just
Yeah,
keep it
it's a
local.
shit show out there.
Date locally.
Yes. All right, so I think that's all I got.
Do you have a dog?
I don't. I want to get one, but I don't want the
Ah,
responsibility.
get out there.
And get a dog or a date?
Yeah, either. But like dogs are. I think dogs are more reliably rewarding than dates.
That's probably true.
Right? You get a dog, it's going to suck because it's going to be a lot of responsibility. There's going to be times when it's cold that you're going to have to walk them. It's going to be insanely inconvenient, but dates are like that too sometimes.
Yeah,
And
I have kids that could walk the dog for me.
there you go.
Yeah.
And then yeah, dogs are a source of like amazing unconditional love. I don't know if I'll like start dating, but you may have talked me into having more dogs in my life.
There you go. All right.
Where's
Well,
your brother?
my brother, he's probably at home. He
Okay.
starts a new job this week or next
Congrats
week.
to
He
him.
actually starts working at my work. He's getting out of the Andersons game, quitting making windows, so he's kind of just chilling. He's actually I have to watch his kids tonight because he's going to the casino to go try to be on The Price is Right or something.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so him and his fiance, they're going and get him out of the house for a night.
Well, tell him I said, hi, and thanks for having me on the podcast.
I will. All right. Well, hopefully I'll
Appreciate it.
get out to Modist on Saturday and see you perform.
That would be great. Bring a bra.
All right. I'll bring a bag of bras.
They have to all be new.
Yeah.
Don't go around the house like
I mean,
stealing
I don't
people's
have
bras.
any used ones around here, Nikki Jean.
Just saying.
All right.
All right. I'll hopefully see you soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, later.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that was it. That's the interview. Nikki was awesome. Once again, can't thank you enough, Nikki. Get out to that show on Saturday. Plenty of time, man. Go pick up some bras. Go and help support these women. That's it. Till next time.